conversation. It's interesting, this is an injection molding press. This is probably a 200-pound press. This is, if you've ever been in a room with a lot of these, it sounds like and this is how most of the things that you have in your pockets and in the world are made. And and that's not going to stop. And in fact, what's interesting is getting into that world used to mean you had to be a tycoon with a factory or have a build-up of a company that had to get pretty large to be able to access that world. Now it's just this. You just need a computer, a Makerbot, and you're ready to rock. And this has changed the way, just the access to manufacturing and being able to take designs and be able to independently just make them. And it's very powerful. It used to be that when you had an idea, you would send it off and get prototyped, and it would take 3 weeks, a month to go through that iteration process of having a digital design and then being able to see what it actually looked like in real life. Now lets you, with that type of cycle, you can iterate multiple times in the year. So if maybe you get 3 tries. So you stress out about those 3 tries and try and learn as much as you can from that. When you have a Makerbot, you can iterate multiple times a day. So you can fail hundreds of times before you launch your product. And that just changes the whole game in terms of, empowering people to fail is probably not the best tagline for my company, but it definitely has a powerful impact on design. We're leading the next industrial revolution. So there. We just dropped these 3 printers at CES, and the middle one is shipping as of yesterday, and then the small and the large one, the Makerbot Replicator Mini and the Makerbot Replicator Z18, we're just taking orders and will ship shortly. And what's cool is that even though this looks like 3 printers, small, medium, and large, and I love that that's connected to the theme of the conference, they all have the same infrastructure inside them. So each of them has a camera, so that you can, which does a couple things. While you're making something, you can go get a cup of tea and monitor it on your phone. You can it also just makes it really easy. We worked really hard so that this camera takes just luscious pictures of the models you make and the things that you make. So it's easy to share it. It makes you look good to the world. This is our 5th generation 3D printer. We started in a garage with a laser cutter and a dream. And now we've actually built legitimate products. It feels so good to have launched this lineup. We really switched from being a company that made the equivalent of 3D printing candy bar or flip phones, and now we make a smartphone equivalent of a 3D printer, if that makes any sense. And they're all networked, they're all cloud enabled, so you can, which means you're intimate. You can always have your 3D printer in your pocket no matter where you are. And we obsessed over design. Like this knob that we went through so many iterations. It's basically if you're into Macintosh or main stereos, which means you're an obsessive, this knob will make you feel right at home. So we have a small one. I'm just going to breeze through these here to initiate you. One-touch 3D printing. This is just, we wanted to make it easy for people who want to get into it, but there's no compromise. The quality of the extruder, the quality of the infrastructure, it has the same electronics in it as the other machines. This is how you get into it. And here's the medium one. This is the next generation Makerbot Replicator, and rabbits is one of our icons. We just are always printing rabbits. And here's the big one. Now it's interesting, people who haven't had a 3D printer look at the Makerbot Replicator Mini and go, ooh, yeah, that's how I can get in. If you've had a 3D printer before, or used one, or used a service, you look at this and you just go, oh. Because it makes things that are 12 by 12 by 18 inches. And that's like a full-size bust or a big thing. And it's funny, we had Martha Stewart in the booth, and I thought she'd want the